One Piece Chapter 943. Got a lot to talk about in this one. A lot of reveals. Brought my boys with me. Kishin Prime, Grim Reaper. Links in the description for their channels. So let's get into this discussion, guys. So it is revealed what the friggin' smiles are. And in the previous discussion that we did on Chapter 942, please check that video out. It will be in the top right-hand corner. We kind of had some theories as to what was going on with the fruits there. It was revealed that the smiles had something to do with them actually smiling, and one of the theories that we kind of came up with was actually kind of true. They did, in fact, give the used apples to the citizens of Ebisu Town, and of course they're going to eat these things because they're like friggin' starving and they have nothing else to eat, so yeah, they're going to eat it. It's just the way that it is. They're an unfortunate byproduct of just these terrible, scummy people. Namely Orochi, but then we see, of course, that there's more to it. We've got Kaido, we've got Doflamingo, and of course Caesar. This has all been building up for a very long time. Let me know what you guys thought about this reveal.
Hey, we nailed it like a railroad spike. Where's our cookies and cakes? That reveal, it was crazy. I mean, and then the whole thing with like where the names of Kaido's crew come from.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. I forgot that we're getting that now.
It's like the gifters, that one made sense. The pleasures was kind of all over the place. And then the waiters, you know, that was name dropped, I forget how many chapters ago, like less than 10. And it was like never expanded upon. So now we know what it meant. It did us good this week.
Yeah, this was a very informative chapter. I totally forgot about them. Like, I just think that aspect is so cool how it all goes together. But I'm also really surprised by the 10% effectiveness of the fruits. But before we go any further, Grim, what did you think of the reveal?
Yo ho ho! What's going on, guys? This chapter was really, really good. For a while, this has been building up underneath our noses, almost since Punk Hazard, I believe, another connection to Caesar and Doflamingo. One high point that I wanted to point out in the chapter was that Luffy actually noticed the situation. He actually says nobody should laugh when someone dies. So him displaying anger towards like the citizens, I found it to be very, very interesting that we were able to redirect it towards the actual culprit, Orochi. So now everybody's attention is on Orochi and his deeds. We even pan to Kaido, sitting there menacingly, speaking about what had occurred and like the reveal of this. So I'm interested to see the effect, how it like is gonna propel into like anger later on. Luffy, like usually whenever he's in those anger situations like with Doflamingo, he gets really, really, really into it. And now we have a cause to kill Orochi. People were talking about, oh, Zoro's going to face Orochi, Zoro's going to do this and that. That may not be the case anymore.
Yeah, I don't think Orochi is going to go against Zoro. I'm not even sure who Zoro's going to go against at this point, but you are right. Or at least it seems like you're right. I did think that most of the reveals in this chapter was just more motivation for these guys to go after someone, have more of a reason to be in this war, because other than that, like the guys, the Odin's boys, their real motivation before this is just, you know, picking up where 20 years ago left off, just getting that initial revenge. But now Yasu is dead. He got killed, you know, they did him super dirty. So this is more motivation for them to go after this cause, this war, going after Orochi, but also subsequently bringing down Kaido because they are all affiliated in a way. But on top of that, the reveal of the fruit stuff is giving further motivation to them, which they do care, but I'm sure they care more about Yasu at this point. But like Luffy, exactly, him observing that stuff is just, I don't know. I mean, he already has more motivations and more reasons than anyone really in this arc to take down everyone just because he is Luffy. But that's just further showing that, like, yeah, this is all messed up. It's pretty awful how this is all playing out. And it's also just setting up Orochi as like the dirtbag, scumbag, terrible guy of this arc. And that's not really Kaido. You know, Kaido is not a good guy, and he is totally the main villain of this arc, one of the main villains of the series. But like, there's always like one relegated scumbag of the arc. You know, it was like Caesar and Punk Hazard, and then it was like, I guess, Spatum back in Water 7, but now it's like Yeah, Orochi is the scumbag guy of this arc. I mean, he was already kind of like that before, but wow, man, just really unredeemable at this point.
I'm also interested to see how the Zoro situation is gonna play out.
Oh god.
Like aside from, because I don't know if you guys noticed, like it's been played like the entire like smile fruit thing. A lot of the people seem to have known that already. So
Yeah, I did.
yeah,
Yo made note of it.
No, they did, because
Dude,
they like specifically say. I'm sorry, Kisha, you're breaking up, but real quick, just they do say like, "Oh, I should have told you this sooner." I think Shinobu says that, right? I should have told you guys sooner. It's like, yeah, you probably should have.
Yeah, it seems to be pretty common knowledge apparently, which is weird because like they know about artificial devil fruits, but they don't know about real devil fruits at all.
Yeah. I mean, just because of all the isolated information coming to Wano, it's kind of like North Korea in a way.
But you would think they would start connecting the dots. It's like, these are just like animal versions of the fruit powers that we've acquired, you know? But no, apparently not.
But now that we do know about the fruits and it's all been set up all this whole time, I think the very first time the smile is even talked about is in Shabaodi when Doflamingo's like the time. It's like after the human trafficking sequence, and Doflamingo's like, yeah, that's all cool, but now it's the era of smile.
it's all about the smile.
Yeah. So like, what was that? Like 10 years ago, fucking setting this up.
Good lord, that was.
But yeah, so now that we've got all of that, let's talk about the real big moment. Literally 5 years in the making, the Sanji and Zoro reunion. Man, I'm so excited about this. Yeah, man, the last time in the manga these two guys were together was November or September of 2013 back in Dressrosa.
Oh crap! I thought it was at most 4 years, but yeah, good lord.
Oh boy, look at him just sitting there cooling, bro. Yo, you already know it's a year, Sanji, right? You already know what's going on, bro. Look. All right, I'll put it to you like this:
That was last year.
Zoro has done nothing but fail against an individual who isn't Let's be honest. He isn't stronger than Pika. This individual who stabbed him through the chest. The other person who was like distracting him and like coming from behind. Well, we know Zoro can fight multiple strong people. We know that. So the person who was doing that isn't any stronger than that person either. So I'm not impressed by Zoro getting knocked out by that guy. That's not my problem. Sanji, on the other hand, has attained a raid suit from the military technological power the Vin smokes. He was already fighting strong ass niggas before. He's already a superhuman, and now he got a raid suit too, and he can turn invisible. Stop this. The suit also gives him improved durability. The clear superior fighter out of these two in this picture right here is Sanji, without a question. Zoro's tough. That's that, tough as
only
fuck.
if he can get that raid suit on.
Yeah, but regardless, the opposition in Wano hasn't been impressive, to say the least, for a minute. Obviously the commanders has been a presence. Kaido himself is a presence. But aside from that, Hawkins and Drake, they're also a presence to mention. But besides from them, it's been mediocre. So I'm not worried about Zoro having to deal with anybody. Apparently I should be, but I'm not really worried. So this should be a pretty straightforward confrontation. But this is also an opportunity to see Orochi. He is right there in front of us. He does have the tendency of releasing his dragons in anger, as we saw twice. Once almost when they were inside with the kid or whatever, and then before that with the CP0 when they were in the room. So if next chapter we get a big ass widespread of Orochi, in this big ass area, and then we see why he's, the Shogun, quote unquote. We were told that it was more like a military, diplomatic situation between him and other rivals. But I'm not just gonna pretend that he couldn't be strong. He has a fruit. Certain fruits grant you a certain level of power off base, especially zones. So I wouldn't be too crazy to see Orochi versus Sanji and Zoro next chapter. Oda might not do it. It's Oda, so he'll probably off screen that shit.
Yeah. I mean, for sure, it's off screen, and then we'll just hear that Orochi was super powerful. But that raises a good point. Maybe that is the reason why Zoro won't fight Orochi, simply because he's just not powerful enough to take on somebody like that by himself. I just assume Orochi is just as powerful as Oden's crew, who are all seem to be around the level, if not on the level of Jack. Like the one guy, real name is Ashura Doji, the fat Sutenmaru, yeah. He's clearly on the level of a commander.
He's strong as fuck.
Yeah, Inuarashi, the dog dude, and Neko Mamushi, they're both on Jack's level, or maybe above it. So all of those dudes are friggin' insane, just for being random characters. So I assume that Orochi's got to be on that level, or at least close to it.
That is a direct indicator of the strength of what's his face? Momonosuke's dad. I forgot his name. Oden.
Yeah.
If his retainers and commanders are of this level, he should be a little bit above that. And plus the feast that we've been told about him and his accolades and the praise that he has, he should be around like I'm not gonna say admiral level, maybe like a Yonko level.
I mean, he's got to be around there. I mean, also he was on Roger's crew too, and Roger was only rolling with like commanders and Yonkos.
I mean, Buggy was on that crew too.
Yeah, exactly. Yonkos and commanders, like I was saying.
Yeah, there's no doubt, bro. I mean, we all can't beat him, so.
So, we do have we're talking about the prospects of the upcoming chapter. It could be Zoro and Sanji taking on Orochi in a clash, but I don't know. It looks like they're probably going to do something with Drake and Hawkins. I'm not going to say they're going to fight him, because Wano has not been that arc. Wano is not the arc of fights so far. It looks like it's just been all built up to the one big war. So I really don't think we're going to get Zoro and Sanji versus Drake and Hawking, at least extended. Maybe they'll clash or something. But what do you think, Kishin?
Oh, yeah. Like, when I saw them in that little side bit of the panel with Zoro and Sanji, and I was like, okay, didn't even realize they were that close at first. I thought they were outside, like the little caged-in area. So I was like, oh crap, they're here. And I mean, Sanji's technically taken on, one of the, whatever they call them, flying dino, whatever. The name constantly is changing.
Yeah,
But whatever Drake is, that little affiliated group, he's taken on another Dino Zone. So I imagine he probably would take on X-Drake, and then Zoro could take on Hawkins. It'd be fun to watch.
Yeah, didn't they already kind of set up Zoro-Hawkins beef at the beginning of the arc anyway?
Yeah, they did. That's why it would probably be most suited for those particular matchups.
What are you thinking? What are you thinking, Grim?
There's beef amongst a lot of them. Drake himself has mentioned that he wanted to find Sanji in particular. So it wouldn't be like, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a Drake, like you said, it is Hawkins and Zoro, and then Drake and Sanji. But at the same time, Drake is a monster.
Yes,
he has an axe, blade. He can fight anybody out here just fine. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a tank, supposed zone tank, like Drake up against Zoro. On the other hand, Hawkins has the hacks power. We've seen it be confronted by Law, Zoro directly, and I think Luffy a little bit as well. But nobody has really trumped it. Not even Kizaru trumped it. He was close to trumping it, but it's still. Hawkins was very impressive up against Kizaru. So, if we do get that, I'm not sure if, Zoro should be up to the task right now. Narratively, I'm still seeing, Zoro in his, growing arc or whatever, in terms of, getting stronger, justifying all that. You know how that is. They go through an effort, ups and downs and shit like that. So, I could see it where, this is an initial confrontation up against his rival for the arc, being Hawkins, and then him losing in, a straight head-on fight. Almost, losing like he said he would never do, and then having to overcome him failing at his word, and then becoming even stronger, and then learning and some shit like that. Whatever Oda wants to do with it, but I'm foreseeing if they do fight that Hawkins would win that from what we've seen, but you know how it is. It's gonna be off screen.
He's definitely got a lot more abilities, probably literally up his sleeves with his tarot cards. Because we've only seen, what, 2 so far? And I forget how many cards are in a Terra deck.
He's taken a barrage of laser beams from Kizaru, a light speed kick from Kizaru. He's gotten cut in half several times by different people and shit. He can now put his monster transformation that was actual his that turned into his actual body. He can now put it into his blade and then have that manifest as like a Susanoo avatar or whatever type shit.
Yeah,
that's
exactly
immensely strong. Yeah, that's immensely strong, and that it seems like it can work autonomously. So he can like be sitting there riding a horse or eating a sandwich while the demons
like,
fighting.
Just go fight my wars for me.
Yeah, a Zoro type or Zoro level opponent confidently. So like, he's pretty powerful right now from what we've seen. But you already know how One Piece is. These guys are gonna prevail. So I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of the arc, Zoro's strong enough.
Made some solid points. Anything else you wanted to say, Keishan, before we wrap this up?
I just want to see more Asura form from Zoro. I mean, come on. Master that crap already so we can be using it on a more regular basis.
Hey, I agree. I was playing Jump Force the other day, and like a special mode that Zoro can go in that game is the Asura mode. And I was like, damn, man, why don't we see more of this? Why don't we just see more of Zoro in general? But it's whatever, I guess we will. Anything you wanted to say in closing, Grim?
No, that's pretty much it. You guys said it though. Good chapter.
Yeah. Solid chapter. Thankfully, not going to be on break next week, or at least it doesn't say it is, so we're just going to go right into this next time. And so that's pretty much it for the video. Thank you to Grim. Thank you to Kishin. If you guys are interested in them, check out their channel. Links in the description. Other than that, please give the video a like. And if you haven't already, please subscribe as well. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.